just continue to be the best that you can be. You never know who's watching you. You never know what's going on in life. Just be a positive person and a positive outlook on life because things can change in any moment.
All right, welcome back to the Spero Means Hope Podcast, where we take storytelling to a whole new level by sharing amazing patient stories, interview experts in the community, and share resources for clinicians and students. So tonight we have with us Jackson. How are you doing, Jackson?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. And Jackson is an amazing person from Austin. So can you start by telling us just a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? And then what do you do for fun?
Yeah, so I live in Austin, Texas, grown up in the area, moved to Houston when my parents moved over there, but back in Austin now. I work for the Round Rock Express baseball team, AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers. So baseball ops coordinator. I do youth leagues. I used to do baseball camps, team travel, player personnel stuff, UIL high school tournaments, and college classics. So all kind of baseball operations things. I've grown up in the game with my grandfather being Nolan Ryan and my dad being Reed Ryan. So whether it's been the Rangers or the Astros and back to the Rangers, it's been a really cool experience. But trying to make my own path in the game, and that's kind of what I've been doing right now.
Yes. And what do you do for fun when you're not working?
So I like to hunt. I like to watch sports. Obviously, it's March Madness time right now, so
Yes.
filled out a bracket. Been keeping up with the games there. So obviously, also a big TCU athletic fan. So we've been going all the TCU games, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, growing up. So a lot of sports and a little bit of hunting.
Nice. So did you put TCU for winning March Madness, or who's your final matchup?
No, who'd I have? I have North Carolina. I've got Kentucky. I've got Creighton. I got UConn. I have UConn winning it all. So
Okay.
we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Good luck on the March Madness. I filled one last year and I was out after the first the first round. I put U of H going way further than they actually did, so it was rough.
Yeah, no, I've gotten lucky so far.
Love that. How long have you been working for Round Rock Express?
So this will be my second season. I graduated college from the University of Mary Hardin Baylor in 2022 and started here with the Express in 23. And so I'll be in my second full season here with the club.
Oh, that's exciting. And what is your dream job?
So I don't know, some type of something in baseball. I thought I wanted to be a general manager, which would be on the baseball side of it for an MLB club. I was a part of the Kansas City Royals organization in 2022 as an intern under their pro scouting department, but realized I wanted to come back and work for my family business instead. So to answer your question, not too sure right now, but something in the game of baseball, definitely.
That did you play growing up?
Yes, I did. So I played high school baseball, played college baseball, played at the Division III University of Mary Hardin Baylor for one season, and threw and caught with the same hand. So I had Velcro on a wristband Velcro, and I would stick it on backwards, my glove, and then I would rip it off. And then when I got to college, I also had a helmet hat, so a bigger hat. But if I were to ever get hit in the head, I would have been completely fine.
Oh, I love that. So you're mentioning the adaptation you had for the Velcro on your hand. Can you talk a little bit about your condition and how it's been affecting you?
Yeah, so I have cerebral palsy, CP. It affected the right side of my body, basically a brain injury at birth. I used to be a toe walker like this until I was 13 years old. And then we ended up getting surgery in my foot and did little incisions in the back of my Achilles and stretched them out, basically, so I could walk flat. I don't want to do anything with my arm because I would rather have full control of my arm. We've tried Botox, we might try it again, but I'd rather have complete control than have a surgery and have no control over my hand opening. So I have a couple of physical therapists that I see, once a week, twice a week. I have two of them right now here in Austin area that I go see, and it's not really PT. It's more I lay on a mat and then they stretch me out. And so it feels good. Obviously, when it's summertime, my body's going to feel a lot better than in the winter because it's hot. When it's hot outside, I feel more relaxed than I am when it's cold. So the wintertime is tougher than the summertime.
Gotcha. And so, for those who are not familiar with cerebral palsy, I know it affects people differently. So, for you, you're a primary walker. You don't use any assistive devices, or wheelchair, or walking aids.
I do not. I probably have the lowest or lightest amount of CP that probably anybody could have. I've been very lucky. But I basically do everything normal. I walk normally. After that surgery, you couldn't really even tell, to be honest with you, unless you look very closely. If it's hot outside, that I have any CP at all. So I've been very fortunate in the Lord to put me in a place to be able to inspire kids. And my goal is to give back to families, and whether I go meet them in person or over the phone and help them in any way possible, I'm willing to do that.
Oh, I love that, and I love that we're having this conversation because I enjoy talking with different people, and it's nice to see how two people can have the same diagnosis but live completely different lives and have different like functional levels. So it's nice to see you like live like a limitless life and doing baseball and all of the things.
And I'll say this too: you look at life as either half full or half empty, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all deal with something. For me, it's cerebral palsy. For somebody else, it might be something completely different. I know you had Jay Favors on, and he's completely paralyzed. And to see his attitude on a daily basis just makes you think, well, if he can smile and put a smile on his face all the time, then I certainly can, right? So if you look at things, you look at it either half full or half empty, and you got to look at life as half full.
I like that perspective. If you were to look at your life thus far, can you think of like one obstacle you've had along the way and how you overcame it? And it doesn't have to deal with cerebral palsy; it can be also unrelated. Whatever you want to share.
No, I think that my parents have really just inspired me to be the best that I could be, right? Like school was not easy either. I had tutors, I had to go to extra, tutoring sessions and all of that stuff. But I think that if you have a good set of values and you have parents that can push you to be the best that you can be, then you're going to end up doing things that you don't think that you're able to do, right? And I think school, for instance, was harder for me just because, not for my CP instance, but just because it took time, right? Like I had to put in the effort to go to see tutors to make sure I would just pass my classes, to be honest with you. And it's not from a
Mm,
lack of effort, but just I've been very fortunate to say the least. And I've had a good set of parents and a good set of values along the way. And sisters too that have pushed me along the way to be the best that I can be.
I like that, and I'm grateful that like that's been your experiences with your parents too. Looking into maybe some milestone you've accomplished, so things like you're like really proud of having done.
I would say probably playing collegiate baseball, to be honest with you, because I'm able to show kids with cerebral palsy, any disability, but really CP, that just because it looks weird or different, it doesn't mean you can't go out and accomplish whatever you want. Yes, I only got in one or twice. I only threw one inning, but I still did it. To say that I was able to play at the D3 level is pretty cool. And then also, I guess another like accomplishment slash thing that I want to work on is just continue to be in my faith, right? Like my faith is super important to me, and having the Lord front and center is something that's very valuable to me.
I love that, and then I echo that second part. So that's pretty awesome, and congratulations on also like playing at the collegiate level because it is a big deal.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's a big deal. What are some things? So you've mentioned your parents. You've also mentioned your faith. What are some other either things or people that help like uplift your spirit, keep you from having a positive outlook on life?
No, yeah, I think it's just the people that I'm surrounded with on a daily basis, right? Like whether it's at work or whether it's my friends, having a good set of friends. I don't need a lot of them, but the ones that I do have are really good for me, right? And to be able to pick on each other in a good way is also good. So I think having a core group of friends and a core group of non-family members is important that you can bounce ideas off. And I have that where I work, but also more importantly, I have it with my friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I agree. Friends are really important. They kind of like keep you going, and along with family, it's pretty neat to have that good support system.
No, for sure.
I like that. So, when you mentioned, I want to go back to something that you said is you were saying how just being able to play baseball at the collegiate level is really important, and how it's just kind of like showing that visibility to like kids that like what you play, that you can do all the things. Do you have any other like upcoming plans or in terms of like reaching out or like showing kids like what more you can do?
So, like, I guess I'm also a part of the community outreach part of it. So, I'm also speaking here at Del Diamond with the Express. So, I'm going to speak to Southwestern University, small Division III school here in Georgetown about CP and kind of how I deal with cerebral palsy and how one of our other ushers slash employees has CP and his is completely different than mine. So, being able to go out in the community and talk to as many people about cerebral palsy is probably good. And then also just being out and about and making sure that I'm getting people to the stadium is something important.
Oh, that's like really nice. I didn't know you were a part of that. That's pretty neat. So do you guys go to, you said colleges or high school level?
So kind of just depends on what we're doing. I'm a part of Leadership Round Rock, which is through the Round Rock Chamber. And so I'm able to go out and meet different people that way. I've talked to whether it's been colleges, my college, Southwestern, whether it's high schools or whether it's youth leagues. Like we're going to go out to Liberty Hill Youth League, and I'll go out and speak to them for a little bit, just about kind of baseball and opening ceremonies and getting excited for kids and families to be out and about in baseball is good. So I think just going out and talking once again to as many people as I can, but also sharing my faith and also CP is important.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, I think March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, I believe.
It
I believe
is.
so.
Yeah, pretty
What?
cool.
Yes, yes. It's like perfect timing because this, like, it just so happened to work out. So, what are some misconceptions you think people have about cerebral palsy?
That I think it's hard to explain CP, to be honest with you, if you don't deal with it, or if your family doesn't deal with it, because it's not like I don't want to say illness, it's a disability that is easy to explain, or you can go out and about and talk about it. I think the muscle tone tightness part of it is unique because for some people it could be a lot worse than it could be for others, right? And then also you could have people like myself who can walk and talk and do everything normally. And then you also have people that are in wheelchairs that can't walk or talk, that can't do anything really, that need help. And also, it's very tough on those families, right? To have mom and dad have to support people with CP that goes through that with in a wheelchair and different things like that is tough. And so I think that the people that do have CP and the families that are impacted by it understand it, but I think the misconception is that people don't really know what it is.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's like just trying to bring more awareness into what that looks like for different people.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Definitely. You mentioned earlier you go to get stretching regularly, and you've worked with physical therapists before.
I have.
Okay, I love that. I always like to ask someone, so anybody that has been a patient of physical therapy, if you, let's say you're talking to like healthcare providers listening to this, if you had to give them like advices on like, let's say 2 or 3 things that you think are really important in a healthcare provider when working with a patient, maybe thinking of like good providers you've had or
So,
some not so good and what not to do.
no, yeah, I've been very fortunate to have great physical therapists around me in general. I think it's just going on a consistent basis, right? Because if you go once a month or if you go twice a month, you're not going to get any better. So I think from a family slash kid part of it or adult, whoever it is to just go on a consistent basis if you can. And then also put in the time to stretch, put in the time to meet with your PTs and do what you need to do. From a healthcare provider standpoint, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. I really haven't dealt with like healthcare providers. I've just had physical therapists that I've grown up around here in the Austin area and rather or in the Houston area. And then once I find that level of trust with those PTs, I stay with them. And so I'm very fortunate here in Austin. I've got two in the Austin Round Rock area. In Houston, I got one. In Georgetown, I got another. So I'm very fortunate to say the least.
Hmm. And I like how you mentioned like the level of trust being something that's pretty important.
Yeah, no, because if you can't get to know your PT and they don't get to know you, then they're not going to get to know your body very well. You got to let your physical therapist get to know your body and how you like to go about doing things. Because if they can give you the proper stretches, proper amount of time that you need to walk, the proper amount of time that you need to just be balanced, because that's the key word for me is balance, that they're trying to get me to be balanced on my right side as well. For instance, I was working out, doing things that I probably should not have been doing last year that I didn't have my PTs that I have now. And now that I'm not quote unquote working out, but I'm seeing my PTs twice a week. So I'm in good shape right there. So I think you got to let them get to know your body, and then they can help you the best that you can.
Yeah, definitely. Have you had any injuries? So you mentioned the surgery you had like at a younger age, but have you had any injuries?
No, not really too many injuries, to be honest with you. I broke my collarbone once when I was 6 or 7, just running upstairs, which is, normal for any kid. But, no really major injuries. I've been very fortunate. Just the one main surgery, and we thought we might have to do another one, but I've been fortunate so far, and knock on wood, everything's been good to go.
I love that. I'm so glad. I just love the positivity that emulates from like your conversation and from like your outlook on everything is really cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, once again, right? Like I talked about Jay earlier, but you see people that are in less fortunate scenarios, and if they can put a smile on their face on a consistent basis, then why can't you? At the end of the day, we're
Yes.
all here to impact people at some point, and hopefully, I can impact families with CP or kids with disabilities or whatever I can do to make their life better if I can possibly.
Definitely, definitely. I want to go back to because you just mentioned like family and family support. What are some things, either maybe in your family or anything that you've observed that you feel like can help families navigate like caregiving?
Like for instance, the best PT was in San Antonio, so my parents would drive down to San Antonio and back, once, twice a week growing up from Austin. So to see that, also they pushed me to be the best that I could be, and they still do. They weren't going to just let me be poor, pitiful me that I had CP. You can't go out and be that way. So whether it was playing baseball or doing school or being with friends, whatever, they push me to be the best that I can be. And, did I like it growing up? No. To be honest with you, to hear your mom say, you need to be better at this, and that, or to hear your dad say your curveball sucks, you need to be, better at pitching. Why? Do I want to hear it? No, but they were right, or, hey, you need to do your homework, and I don't feel like doing it, growing up. But it made me into a better person, right? And also having parents that were supportive and just pushing me along the way is very helpful. But also my sisters telling me that I'm always wrong and they're right, it also helped me in that way too. So, at the end of the day, it's family's got to be super important.
Yes, definitely. And them not giving you like not letting you like have time to feel sorry for yourself pushed you to just like now live like a regular life and pushing the limits and doing all the things.
Yeah, no,
It's pretty
exactly
awesome.
right. Exactly right.
Yeah. I love all of that. Jackson, is there anything I haven't asked you about you want to mention or any like parting words you want to like share with the audience?
No, not really. Just continue to be the best that you can be. You never know who's watching you. You never know what's going on in life. Just be a positive person and a positive outlook on life because things can change in any moment.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Jackson.
thanks for having me on.